Hello everyone, this is my first video on YouTube and I've decided to share my journey with you. I'm still learning, but this is a never-ending journey, I think. So at this point, I just wanted to um, share and grow at the same time with you because this knowledge, this experience feels worthwhile sharing and it feels maybe even for this, it's maybe even for sharing. So yeah, this is my decision. Um, I I feel like maybe sharing some horary videos first, and then some natal and some special cases on natal charts, maybe some predictive methods, how things turned out in special cases. Again, well, I would like to share some resulted cases, real cases that I've seen with you. So I hope you enjoy it. They will not be fully educative videos that I will be teaching how to read from scratch, but it's more likely to show my way, how I did it, in more like a basic way for if you're curious how it's done in a chart. Or if you're into astrology, you can also see how I do things and see some real cases. I think it's quite nice. And my mother tongue isn't English, so I hope I can express myself clearly and everything is understood fine. So, okay, today we are going to see an horary chart example that's resulted already. So I think it's nice to see. So this person who asked me this question, she applied for a job and she was curious if she's going to get it or not, because we'll come to it later, but she told me that this is a known place, they have known her, so it's quite likely, but she had some things were off, so she wanted to ask a question. And you can see the timing is everything, because first, the ascendant is 28 degrees, a late ascendant. This tells us the decision is likely already made behind the doors, right? However, it looks like the applying aspect, Mercury is moving toward what? Um, it's made by closed doors. This could also mean that the person already knows the answer. It's already decided, it's already ended. So this is not so healthy to read at this point, this chart, because this is a past chart, we can see. It's already been done. But we can continue reading it to see how things may result. So the ascendant is represented by Mercury because the ascendant is Virgo, right? Its ruler is Mercury, which is in Pisces, retrograde, and sixth house. So the first things we look in horary chart is very simple and traditional. If the planet is happy, by means it is in a happy sign, not retrograde, not combust, and sits in a happy place, which is preferably a cardinal house, 1, 4, 7th, and 10th houses, but least desirably, well, 3rd, 6th, 9th, and 12th houses. So we can see the person who asks the question deeply inside knows maybe something is off, she isn't so motivated. Mercury is very unhappy, and she is not in a place where she is surrounded, you know, she sits in sixth house. It's not a very motivational place for the planet. And everything else is also objecting the positivity here. So, okay, we see that she is maybe not so good place, right? Let's look at the firm, which is represented by the 10th house. It's the company, the firm, the career path. We can read from MC points, which is Gemini, and Gemini is also represented by Mercury. So the job and the person is both represented by Mercury, which is both not so happy, right? We can say that also the firm doesn't feel that this situation is so nice. They are not so motivated. They have already been maybe seeing other candidates. We can't know, but let's see other candidates who are exactly just the opposite side where the ascendant sits, which are your other people, your other persons, basically. So in this case, it's going to be represented by Jupiter, right? Because it's Pisces. So the other candidates are represented by Jupiter in 10th house, where Jupiter is super happy. It's in Cancer. So we can say that the candidates are very strong, and they are supported by the surroundings also. Okay, so we know that. But to differ the ascendant and the job, because they're both represented by Mercury, right? But we have a helper here because the moon also represents the ascendant, which also is the main thing we look at if things are going to happen. It's the main indicator to read how things are going to result. If the moon isn't so happy, things usually don't go so happy. So we have to look at the moon as representative for the ascendant. So moon is, okay, it's in a cardinal house, which is nice. But the moon sits in here, which is exactly opposite where it wants to be, because moon is exalted in Cancer. It rules Cancer. Exalted, sorry. It rules Cancer, so yeah, mood here is not so happy either. Now we have to see, okay, if things are going to end, when things are going to end. We need to read if these two symbols are going to meet. Then we would say that it's likely to end positively if also supported by moon. But they're both the same symbol, right? So I'm going to read it from the moon. If moon is going to apply any aspects to any planets, which planet is it? Where is that planet? And then we will read the timing. So the moon first, okay, so the moon's last aspect is Jupiter, right? But it's past because it's 18 degrees and Jupiter is 15 degrees. So it's past Jupiter 3 degrees. So the next aspect moon is going to have is, you can see here that it cannot be here because it's in these two signs next to the sign. They can't aspect, not a major aspect, at least. So the next aspect moon is applying is to the sun, right? It's going to sextile sun. Okay, let's see what sun does. Sun is in Pisces. Okay, not so happy, not so unhappy. Sixth house is questionable, but let's see what the moon is going to contact. What are we going to contact next? We are going to contact, okay, Sun rules Leo, right? And Leo in this chart is, well, our network, friends, our hopes, future plans, all this stuff. So we are going to be connecting probably networks because, okay, let me tell you how this ended. So she applied to this job and she has done internship there. Everybody knew her and stuff. She was already in a project. It was also student collaboration, but there was no open position. So she applies and she seems to be a very good candidate. But probably her, well, I forgot the word. Sorry, I have to check. Her rivals. Okay. Her rivals were very strong and supported by the firm. So it was a two people position, by the way, two open positions. I think they already knew who they were going to hire because these candidates are supported by the job so much, it looks like. And she sits in a, okay, you are not supported and we are kind of are not so motivated situation. So yeah, she applies and from inside later, after she applied, even though she didn't initially let anybody know from inside that she applied, she gets connected by two of the seniors she has worked with before, and they say she's got their help. Their like references are going to be like heavily, yeah, it's going to be very effectful in the process and stuff. So we see that the ascendant is connecting to networks and hopes. It's so positive. But we already got the idea that this is already decided, right? Because this tells us how things have went. Because now we are reading a past chart already. This is not happening after she asked the question. This has happened already. They probably knew who they were going to hire, and the circumstances were already made. So I wondered when she was going to get any feedback, and then I wanted to see if this past aspect will apply. So I looked. So it's like we can say 19 degrees and 23 degrees, right? So there is 4 degrees, which is in a cardinal house. It's strong and it is also a cardinal sign. The moon aspecting from a cardinal sign, from a cardinal house in 4 degrees. So I assumed maybe 4 days. It couldn't be 4 hours. It's too little. 4 weeks is also too long time for already decided answer and timeline for job response, I think. So I told her in 4 days it's probably going to be a no. And I told her that it's going to look a bit positive because she connects future hopes, networks, and they were super positive and stuff. But it's probably not going to be positive, I said. And after 4 days, she got an answer. Yeah, it was no explanation. We don't know, but yeah, we already know, right? The other candidates. Yeah, I hope it's helpful or it's interesting for you to hear. I hope my English is okay. I think I will. This is my first time sharing with people I don't know and not in my native language. So I hope in time it will be, it will feel easier. It will feel more natural, I think. Yeah, and the terms I have to check sometimes in English because I've known them in my mother tongue. But yeah, more is coming. I really hope you liked it. Please leave me comments or ask me some things, or if you want some specific content, or if you're curious about how to read this in natal chart, or yeah, anything you want to share or ask, or yeah, I don't know. You got it. See you next